Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about Lul Tim. Now, Lul Tim is Quando Rondo's homeboy, man. Some would say his ride or die homeboy. He's allegedly the person who shot and killed King Von in that situation that took place back in November 2020 in Atlanta, man. A horrible scene, horrible situation. Well, Lul Tim, he's been under the spotlight since that situation. There were news reports when he got released from jail. There were news reports when his bond got approved. There were also news reports when he's been in situations since then and when he dropped his music videos, man, because Lul Tim is a rapper as well, right? Well, the big news that just dropped today, man, is Lul Tim got arrested, man, and he's looking at multiple charges. And it looks like this is a bad look for Quando Rondo and them's team and Lul Tim and them's team because, dude, I believe is still out on bond. Now, before we get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and, man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this Lul Tim situation, this Quando Rondo situation, and what's going down in Savannah, Georgia, man. So let's look at this post, man, or not even a post. I looked up the information. First, I saw some people posting this online. Say Cheese was one of them, other platforms or whatever. And I looked it up, and I said, well, let's find out the information ourselves. And it was right, man. Everything is legit, man. Lul Tim was arrested yesterday, and let's actually run down the charges and what's listed on the public website there, right? So you see his name, you see Timothy Leaks, you know what I mean? And then you see his birth date, obviously, and his race and all that. But the arrest date was yesterday, man, 22 September, man. So I don't know what Lul Tim was on or what's going on, but obviously, man, he ran into a situation. Now, it says that the agency that arrested him was the Savannah GSP, and he doesn't have a bond amount. Now, there's reasons why he could not have a bond amount. Maybe they didn't, they have a situation there where you have to go and see the judge to get awarded a bond amount, or there's, usually in Georgia, though, I've seen many of these cases, usually the bond amount, it doesn't take them that long to come up with the bond amount, man, maybe like a day or so sometimes. But we'll see if he gets a bond at a later date. But to be honest, as far as I know, and as far as the information that's been out there, Lul Tim is out on bond currently from the King Von shooting situation. So I don't know what this is going to entail with that situation or make things even worse, but it can't make him no better. Now let's actually look at his charges. So the very first charge you have here is failure to stop at stop sign. So obviously there was a driving infraction there. There ain't no way you can get that without driving. So obviously Lul Tim was driving the car, allegedly, I should say, man. He was allegedly driving the car, right? Next charge says disregarding traffic control device. So this could be one of two things. Either he ran a stop sign allegedly, just your regular stop sign, and then ran a traffic light, your stop and go lights, and then kept going. And that's basically what it sounds like, to be real with you, man, because that's the only way you can get both of those charges, right? Separately, right? Or else they would be the same charge. So obviously he was in some type of high-speed situation allegedly, right? Now the next charge says failure to yield right of way. So failure to yield right of way, that's some just regular traffic violation. And that goes in with, maybe he was in a high-speed chase, you know what I mean? And following too closely. So, that's the odd one, right? So he got a charge of following too closely. So does that mean he was charged with this while he was on a high-speed chase and he was too close to the cars that were in front of him? So that way he was causing some type of, danger to the people on the road. And then it says improper passing. Then it says speeding as one charge, obstruction as the next charge, and speeding as another charge. Now, this whole description below says this, and I think this encompasses what was going on. It says, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer for a felony offense. And then they continue on with reckless driving, failure to maintain lane, driving on wrong side of the roadway, improper turn at an intersection. And that's all of his charges, right? So that's most of his charges are about a speeding situation. Now, you don't see anything crazy like a gun charge or anything like that, but you have to wonder what in the world was going on for Lul Tim to catch these charges. It sounds like it started off as a speeding charge, and he just tried to get away. He tried to break out on him, man. He said, "Forget this, man. I'm about to hit it on him." Now, what complicates this thing is what I said earlier, man. I believe he's still out on bond because if we go back to any of those stories, we can see that he was released on bond. Now, I'm guessing that Quando Rondo or somebody from their squad paid for his bond, but if you're already out on bond for a felony charge, this can only make things worse, man. So Lul Tim's situation is getting worse as the days go by, even though he seemed like he was having a little rebound when he dropped his song, man, where he had the wild video and all that. But I don't know, man. We can even go back to this story from hiphopdx.com from March of this year, and it said this in the headline. It said, King Von, alleged killer, Lul Tim reportedly granted $100K bond, much to Quando's delight. So Quando, Rondo, and them, they went on social media to celebrate or whatnot. They made posts on social media, I should say, where they were like, yo, Lul Tim is, being released from jail. And they were basically saying, they were celebrating. Here's a post from Say Cheese where he talked about the situation. And it looks like that was official, man. He got bonded out for $100,000. And usually when that situation happens or you're bonded out, you need to keep your nose clean. That's like a big part of it, right? Well, with all that celebrating and all that fun and him getting bonded out, he must have forgot the part about having to keep your nose clean, or there was a reason why he got into this traffic infraction or had this traffic situation. Because knowing that he's already out on bond, why in the world would he speed off? Why would he try to evade? And that would make sense to most people, right? But man, the way that these rappers be rolling, you never know. Because Quando and Rondo and his camp, they've basically done different things than I expected throughout this whole situation. Ever since the tragic shooting of King Von last year, man, it seems like these cats have just been off the rails wilding out, man. Like doing those interviews and stuff, the music videos, the way they've clapped back at people, they kind of stood their ground on a lot of the stuff that they stand for, whatever, or they say they stand for. So it's not a surprise that, Lul Tim would risk it, even with the cops on his tail or trailing him or trying to arrest him. But I wonder what the whole story is behind this, because it'll eventually come out. He obviously had a reason to feel like he had to speed off, or maybe he thought he could get away and the risk was worth the reward. You know what I mean? Even though when you compare going back to jail, facing a murder charge when you're out free to, a minor traffic violation, the common sense thing would be, man, to just pull over, man. You already know you out on bond. I would just pull over, be like, yep, license, registration, yep, you got it all, man. Yeah, man, yeah, just let that thing go. But obviously he felt like, allegedly, man, we'll say allegedly, it seems like he felt the need to speed if these charges, pan out. Because like I said, none of this is facts. All of this is alleged. You can't prove that Lul Tim was actually committing these crimes. And like I say always, to me, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. You get a fair shake over here. But it's still wild, and it adds to this Lul Tim Quando Rondo story, man. Now, what do you guys think about this? Do you think that he'll eventually get bond and Quando Rondo and their team will bond him out again? Or do you feel like the judge is going to look at this sideways because he was allegedly already out on bond? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.